Hello. How you doing? Welcome. Check out the software development stream from 4 seconds ago. What? Would you get like more than one notification or something? Hello. How you doing? So I've been working on this off and on for the past week. I've made some progress, and I've gotten to the point where, well, I've gotten far enough to a point where I haven't like thought ahead of how I want to do stuff very well. So I've got a lot of bad code. Twitch gets confused if you navigate to someone's channel just as it's going left. Ah, gotcha. But yeah, so I've been working on this for a little while. We got parsing of the config all figured out and working. That one I had documented pretty well before I even started it though. So that one was pretty straightforward, getting that working, getting that all situated. And then the part where I actually go and disassemble things and use said config, I hadn't really given much thought to. So I've stumbled a little bit for the past week. Because I didn't know how I wanted to handle a lot of this stuff. And I was pushing it off like, oh, that'll be a problem for future me. I am future me now. So it's my problem now. Still half tempted to use the C compiler to parse the configuration file. Oh my God. I'm not sure I've heard of a configuration file being a just like a C source file. I mean, aside from like a for a project that wasn't in C, basically, right? Ah, yes, that's a problem for future me. Man, I don't envy that guy. Yeah, oops, it's future me's time. So basically, the part that I didn't visualize or plan out properly was how I was going to handle which banks are enabled at a given time, right? Given a specific address that I am decoding. How's I doing? So this is let me back up just a second. So this is kind of like a two pass kind of thing, right? Where the first pass just goes and decodes all the instructions, right? It doesn't do anything with figuring out the labels of well, necessarily. It doesn't necessarily give figure out like it doesn't do like label resolution quite yet, right? So for each bank, for every byte in that bank, we make an object for decoded, and that has a few things in it. Instructions, 6. I still need to like reorganize. Jim, how you doing? I need to reorganize a lot of what I have here. It's all very chaotic and terrible the way I have it organized. I understand. I know that. I get it. I'll fix it. I'll reorganize once I fix it and know what I want to do. But oh yeah, so these are all the instructions over here, by the way. That's not where I wanted to rotate that. Rotate like that. So I don't know if I showed this last time, but these are the instruction definitions. These are just the copy-pasted opcodes from my emulator project. This is a little helper function to get everything all set up for each instruction. This is basically like helping it decode it, essentially, basically giving the length, right? Yeah, opcode length, argument length, address mode, that kind of stuff, right? The name of it, right? These I don't think are actually used anymore. These are what I was originally using for formatting of the argument, right? For each addressing mode. I don't think I'm going to be using that because this is specific for just numbers. My number goes up 20 stream streak. God damn. And I'm replacing that with this, which and I'll basically I'm doing like a find replace on that specific string for either a number or a label, right? Later on down the line. So I don't think this is being used anymore. This routine. That's somewhere else now. Two pieces of news were announced this week. One, OpenAI is probably going to lose $14 billion this year. Oh, I can't wait for that. Might be bankrupt by next year. I can't wait. I fucking can't wait. The Bank, Deutsche Bank, is predicting that 2026 is going to be a difficult year for AI companies. Beautiful. Big bank. Yeah. That is good news. Yes, you are correct. That is good news. You need some good news in the plethora of bad news. Yeah. So basically, for every single byte, we try to decode something, right? Just try to code and try instruction, right? And it just gives it from the offset onwards or whatever, right? And if we get something back, we were able to decode an instruction, right? This is for if it's a code range, which is the default if nothing's defined for that specific byte. It defaults to code, right? So if we have something, we do something with it. All right, we populate this object with different things, give it the instruction, the raw for it. For the address mode, we figure out some label stuff. This is specifically for auto labels attached to the bank, right? Toyax, how you doing? Good production committed Friday, everyone. Yeah, right. And if an instruction isn't decoded, we just treat it as a data byte, right? And then obviously for stuff that is predefined as data, we treat them as data and don't even try to decode them as instructions. I forget what this is. Oh, right. Okay. So what I'm doing for a lot of this is I've got a bunch of maps set up. Types bank. Basically for the state of the decode, right? One from this is a bug feature should take a couple hours to day 4 is done. Yeah. So I've got some a bunch of lookups essentially that are all keyed by the address, and they all point to different things, right? So a list or a map rather of labels, map of ranges. So this is gonna be for type of code or type of words, that kind of stuff, right? Good having a blast as I finished 3-week new mainframe feature. Huh? Ooh, nice. Okay, a new mainframe feature. Oh. Decoded and auto labels. So these should have an element for every single address, including addresses that are inside of an instruction. So what this is doing here, if I have a 3-byte instruction, all 3 bytes of those point to the same decoded instruction object, right? I'll be able to use that later for getting labels for self-modifying code, for instance. There's someone still around, yeah. Financial systems, that's why. But yeah, so this should help me with self-modifying code and labels inside of instructions, or pointed to inside of an instruction somewhere. Hopefully we'll see if it actually turns out that way. But so far everything has been within the bank, and not really doing any label lookup yet. So this is this loop that actually nicely fits in one screen, is strictly just decoding a function or decoding a set of bytes into an instruction if it can. If not, treating that as data. If it does decode an instruction, it takes its argument, and if that argument is a label of some sort, it tries to, or doesn't try, it creates an auto label for it that may or may not be used later on down the line. Now, this just occurred to me. I have to go. I can't set these directly like this. I have to go through a wrapper routine because that auto label might not be in this bank. All right. But anyway, so after all that's figured out, the idea is then to go back through the bank or through all the banks, and write out the assembly while looking up all of the labels. Because at this point, everything's decoded already. So we should have all the labels. Should. Yeah. But before I get there, I need to figure out how I'm going to be looking up these labels and managing that. Not currently supporting overlapping code. No. Well, so two banks that would be in the same address range, only one of those banks could be active at any given time. Right? I know it's not going well for AI when Satya Nadella is slowly getting his head of his ass is starting to worry. Yeah. No, stop being a bully to AI. No. I meant where one instruction overlaps another. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I would handle that anyway, you know? And I haven't... Well, so that's in like some weird timing code sometimes, right? Yeah, I'm not sure how I would handle that, and I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it, if I ever come to it. But yeah, I think I've heard of that for some like timing code, like a LDA hex EA, where EA is just a NOP. So if you, no matter where you go, or no matter where you jump into like a long sequence of that load hex EA, it'll be a valid instruction, either a load A or a NOP, right? Yeah, so I don't I'm not sure how I would handle that, but for now I'm not going to worry about it. It shows where technical needs leadership that actually gives a shit. Another example is how Boeing went from an engineering company to a business. Yeah. That is all coming outside very specific kinds of code anyway that probably aren't common themselves. Yeah, like I haven't seen a wide variety of ROMs, admittedly. But in the ROMs that I have seen, I haven't come across that kind of thing. No, go away. So yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna worry about it for now. I have other things I need to figure out first. Yeah. Speaking of which, how I'm handling the windows. So the code that I have right now is not exactly working. So I need to figure out how to handle that. Basically, it's going to be just a mess of pointers and lookup tables and all that kind of shit. This is what I'm seeing. Yeah. But I need to figure out how to manage that. This was a committee meeting. I learned that while our CTO is more pro than I want, our CEO would probably be... Our CEO would Be happy for all Gen AI to die. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, my boss is on another kick of rewriting code with AI. He is rightfully leaving me out of the fucking equation. Rewriting fucking a classic ASP and VB6 into ASP.NET and VB.NET. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Have fun. Do not involve me. It's all web stuff, so nothing I touch anyway. And I'm like, all right, have fun with that. Do not get me involved at all. Just fuck you. I hate it. I hate it so much. I want it to die so goddamn badly. I was like, we're gonna do AI. We have no clue what. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the AI projects that they're trying at my place. So we have an employee handbook. It's 70 some odd pages, right? Not that bad. There's even a PDF version. They're making a fucking chatbot for it, right? So you can ask the chatbot, like, oh, when do I get off? What days do I get off for vacation? And it can go through the fucking, the PDF or whatever and figure it out for you. Apparently, CTO is not happy because it takes too long to find simple information. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck do you expect? Control F works a hell of a lot better. Like, what do you want? And then I was shown a list of like, God, so with this whole conversion of shit from ancient code to new code, right? Someone prompted some dumbass AI, some LLM, for like, I don't know, what should we look out for? And it just vomited out a very generic, oh, well, how many apps do you need to convert? How many databases do you have? It's like, yeah, no shit. Why do they need an LLM to do this for them? Like, what, huh? Amazon has a price history link on their item pages. It opens oh, God. No. Fuck. It's so terrible. So dog shit. That's so frustrating, No one wants this shit. Nobody wants it. I certainly don't. Anyway. All right, so so getting all this stuff set up for the bank, what I'm gonna need, func b bank, get label. And that's going to be star label. My day doing. The boss uses some AI to quickly put together some slop exclaim programming. It's easy. God, yeah, my boss did that at one point, right? Where he's like, oh, we'll just use this to convert the PLB to Python. PLB being a worse version of COBOL. It's a language that I work in at my day job professionally. It's a dog shit language. And I told him, like, no, that's not going to be possible. And he's like, no, trust me, it'll be fine. I fought him on it. Fast forward 2-3 weeks. I forget how long. And he's like, hey, so I'm curious about this PLB code. Can you send me some samples? I saw through it fucking immediately. I'm like, oh, he's going to drop this into ChatGPT. And he's going to show me what it vomits out. I'm like, fine, fuck it. Here's 2 pieces of code that I'm kind of interested in to see how badly it fucks up, right? One of them was a god-awful loop. It was disgusting. That I had actually commented out and fixed, but I uncommented it for this test, which, whatever. So I give it to him, right? Knowing full well he's gonna throw it at a VM or LLM rather. So sure enough, he throws it at it, sends it back to me, and I can tell he just copy pasted like the prompt output. Because I could see, like, the copy button, right, for the code block. But it was just text, so the button itself wasn't actually there. So he just fucking Control-A, highlighted all of it, copied it, pasted it into a fucking email, and sent it off. But I look at it and I'm like, this is all wrong. Like, none of this is correct at all. Like, these things here, these aren't pointers. There's an asterisk, sure, but that doesn't mean this language doesn't have pointers. But it converted it into Python as if it were a pointer. He was confused on that. I'm like, like fucking new lines and shit. He's like, He does this thing like where like he's thinking hard, like, oh yeah, okay, how are we gonna handle that? I'm like, stop it. I know you're not thinking hard enough. And then the second one, it was just a bunch of like, the entire thing was customer specific code, all of it, right? Bunch of like nested if else statements. It was a mess. Like, if customer ID is this, if format code is this though, do this other thing. Complete mess. So it did like some setup for like opening files or whatever and creating a file. Ooh. And then for all the if else bullshit, I just put a comment in and said, put the rest of the customer specific code here. And it just fucking gave up. It gave up. So during a meeting, my boss asked if I, had a look at it or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it was garbage. So he resent it to me, or like another version of whatever, right? So during the meeting, I said, fuck it, fine. We're gonna do this shit now, I guess. Take over the screen share, right? Open the code up and tear it apart right in front of him. This is wrong because of this. This is wrong because of this. They didn't even bother with this. He finally shut the fuck up about it, eventually. Yeah. Meanwhile, you're getting to the point where open source projects are closing their PRs because they're inundated with AI slop PR. Oh, God. Yeah. That's disheartening. That's so terrible. It's so bad. All right. So if b dot address is less than or equal to address, and address less than or equal to, it's less than b dot address plus b dot size. Size? Yeah, we got a size. Okay. If that, if okay, b dot labels address. Okay. If okay, return label. Return nothing. Okay. Curl is shutting down their HackerOne bug bounty program. Ooh, oh no. Because of all the slop they're getting. God. So my company, because of at the request of one of our customers, is looking into opening up a bug bounty program. And when I was told that, I'm like, oh God. Can that be a good thing? Sure. I need you to make sure, and I'm talking to the compliance guy. I go, I need you to make sure that we have the capacity, the funds, the personnel, all that, to handle those bug reports. If you're not ready to fix shit, do not open the floodgates. Dear God, do not open the floodgates. Don't invite it in. Yeah, 90 days, right? So I'm just like, be very, very cautious. Very cautious. Like, I don't think he really understood the gravity of that kind of thing. It's like, yes, it can be a very good idea. We are not ready for that as a company, in my opinion. As a company, we are not ready for that. Especially with our public-facing websites still running classic ASP. We're just not. I don't think we are. I don't think we are. Call me crazy. I don't think we're ready for that. Well, some people, yeah, it's not my code that's going to be out there. PLB, thank Christ. Because if it was, if my PLB code was subject to the bug bounty stuff, I would deny that. I would say absolutely fucking not. Do not. Absolutely fucking not. I already have an internal mental list of all the bullshit that needs to be fixed. I don't need an official list of that so my boss can like breathe down my neck about it. No, fuck off. Design days include weekends, holidays, other work that needs to be done, etc. Oh yes. Oh yeah. There's a time limit. But you know, compliance guy was like, oh yeah, we can go on about a contract and this and that. I'm like, that's not how this works. Like, okay, so you have a contract of, oh, you can't disclose it until we fix it. Okay, but what if they do? What if they just say, all right, bet. Release it anyway. You're going to sue them. All right. Do you have the funds to sue them? Do we have the lawyers on hand to sue them? Regardless of that, that information's out there now. So, like, be careful. You know? Like, I don't think you fully understand this, what you're asking for. No real security researcher will agree to you can't tell until we say so. Yeah. I think the only exception to that would be government entities, right? I feel like I feel like a researcher would think twice before you know, revealing, oh, by the way, revealing to the world, yeah, this government agency has this hole that you haven't patched yet. They're working on it though. Insane Uggs? Uggs? Oh, I mean bugs. Debugging a game at our company, and one of our employees abroad had used AI to help him and got stuck. While the code ran, it had some bugs that were next to impossible to find. Yeah. Yeah, and again, like, okay, so he used an LLM to write the damn thing. He's not going to know half of his code, at least. So he's going to be useless finding the bug. Right? Useless. So I can't wait for that fallout to happen, where we use an LLM to rewrite classic ASP code into ASP.NET, and then open up the floodgates with a bug bounty program, only to not know how to fix the fucking bugs that are found because an LLM wrote it. I can't wait. Yeah. So I forget where I heard this. I think it was in a talk, where, actually it might have been a blog post I was reading. Code isn't an asset. Code is a liability. LLMs generating code are generating liability, not assets. Tried to use LLM to generate me variables on mainframe code. It failed. I don't trust it on anything else. Yeah, I don't trust it, period, for anything. Yeah, if you didn't write it, you don't really know how it works. And if you don't know how it works, how can you fix it? Exactly. We'll be reasonably sure it actually does what it's supposed to. Feel cool AI will be in job security, not like AI bros want, but as in we need people to fix and rewrite this AI slop. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but yeah, I can see that absolutely happening. Yeah. I talked to vaccine link in general that's somewhat relevant. Ooh. Blue sky. Blue sky, not Batsky, blue sky. Management orientation to use AI on development. Oh my god. Management orientation to use AI more on development. Fuck. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Energy. All this bullshit anti-labor take. God forbid you refuse to partake in this widely unregulated tool, rubbing a massive speculative bubble and care about your craft. The folks do work with the tools they like. They refuse, it may be time for a hard conversion. Other quiet conversion going on among leaders is what to do about team members who blanket refuse to use AI, even when they have been given ample opportunities. Decisions have clearly been set that they are expected to make AI part of their workflow. Perhaps they have strongly held environmental or ethical concern about AI, and no amount of pair programming will alleviate that. That's the case. Maybe have a hard conversation whether it's still a fit for your team. This right here, I don't use Twitter. I have an account, so my name isn't taken. But I don't use. I use Blue Sky. Welcome, by the way. I hate that take. I agree with Thomas here. Because that's like my boss coming to me and saying, "No, you need to use Notepad. You can't use Vim." Okay, bye. I quit. Fuck you. Just full stop. No, absolutely fucking not. We ain't doing that. You're not telling me what tool to use. I'm gonna use the tool that works. I've already heard people say that the only dev jobs they could find were help us fix our AI code. Ugh. Yeah, if I ever get into a position with that, right? With a we'll hire you to help us fix our AI code. My condition for agreeing to that is you are not using AI to code anymore. Full stop. If I'm fixing it, you're getting rid of it. 100%. Like, you're not going to keep churning out AI slop just for me to fix. We ain't doing that. Nuh-uh. More power the commander is supposed to realize. Yeah. So, for now. So with the legacy stuff, yes. You use no AI, but you also pay me at least $200K. Yeah, exactly. So for the legacy stuff, there's me and like 1.5 other people that can help. remove my author. Oh, nice. For a lot of the non-legacy crap, God, it was all written by someone that was fucking high at one point. And a lot of it is what the programs are doing are run of the mill, right? It's not exactly like, dare I say, simple. But they're not doing a lot special, right? They're not doing a lot of complex shit. It's just usually they're doing stuff fucking ass backwards, right? That's usually the problem with a lot of the PLB code at my job is the stuff that they're doing isn't groundbreaking, but the way they're doing it, like they're digging a hole with a fucking fork. Like, what are you doing? Like, huh? Adrian, hey on. Yeah, so a lot of that stuff can be rewritten. Let me back up. A lot of that stuff fucking better be rewritten from scratch because our programs are like part PLB code and part Quadian or GMC we call it. And that's like a click and drag kind of connect the dots kind of scripting. It's not programming. I refuse to call it programming. But that's like the layout engine for all of our documents. And the people that wrote those in my location were never given proper training. They were given like a tutorial at best. So everything else is just, we're going to figure this out our own way and find out what works by throwing shit at the wall. And whatever shit sticks, we scrape off and we use. So it needs to be rewritten from the ground up, a lot of it. And a lot of it isn't, like I said, complex. It's putting together like fucking bills and statements and shit, right? Nothing that bad. But the legacy stuff for these two banks, the legacy, that to rewrite, is it possible? Sure. Is it going to be simple? Absolutely not. And right now, I'm one of like I said, 2 people that can even really debug that process. The other one is a 77-year-old, 75-year-old. I don't know. He's up there. Hey, look. Yeah. So if they want that program to run as it is, they need me around, right? But not, rightfully so. He wants that rewritten, something new. In a system that I am unfamiliar with and that I don't particularly like. It's like the compiled HTML standard for what is? Oh God, no! What? No! No, it's something ancient that is all written in. If it wasn't for the U.S., there's no way speaking German. It's mostly spoken official. Huh? Aren't those all like Germanic languages in the first place? Doesn't that basically predate HTML? No, I think it is HTML. It's just garbage HTML. Massive network of wires. Well, it kind of works, but a bit slow. Let's use it, expert. 2 nodes with a wire. Works fast and well. Yeah. He addressed all people here at their international meeting, so a lot of them didn't have German as their main language, although, of course, it sounds strange. Yeah, that fucking orange Cheeto is a piece of shit. Anyway, CHM was used at least as far back as Win301. Really? Then what? How did it? Was it some like prehistoric version of Markdown? The modern no-code solution. Oh God, I hate all those no-code solutions in general. But I digress. Oh, well, based off the RTF file format. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, doing, Ronnie? Welcome. That makes sense. All right. So the Windows. How am I going to handle this? How do I say on? Oh, I want to use AI for everything. Specs, docs, code, tests. The docs I saw so far it looks typical AI, pretty bloated, redundant. But in general, I still use right. I don't know if I agree with that, but RTF, the official move files between versions file. What? Oh, right. Yeah. Export it to RTF, then you can import it into another version of Word. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I don't like this. Right here. Hallucinations of your docs are now the only dice roll away. Yeah, right. I want my docs to be correct, by the way. Honestly, I would probably want just access to source code and no docs instead of slop for docs that are hallucinating and wrong half the time, honestly. Because at that point, I know, like, all right, I just need to look it up. I need to figure it out myself instead of, like, trying something and having it be straight up wrong, but not, like, being able to realize it right away, you know? Media week for docs? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I don't have any problem with that. I remember embedded coding. Imagine coding something that makes a power plant blows up because AI tricks someone down the line, right? People to cosplay as a programmer and artist since they take away one of the hardest things, preventing them from doing it. Effort. Yeah. I saw somewhere where I guess it was like a survey or something, right, at a university or whatever. or like different companies or something. I forget the exact context of it. But it was a survey of like, do you think AI could do what you do, right? And like, what are your thoughts on AI doing X, Y, Z or whatever, right? And basically everyone that participated said, oh, it can't do what I do because it messes up X, Y, and Z. But it could do that over there. That thing that isn't my field. But everyone said that, right? So it's like, okay, it can do... You think it can do things that you have no idea how they fucking work. But the thing you have an innate, like a deep knowledge of, you can see exactly how it fails. What makes you think it won't happen like that over there? You're right. I messed up. Let's rebuild it and install new software. Yeah, right? Oh, you're right. I had the temperature wrong. It's a mushroom cloud, over the horizon. You're right. Deleting your entire C drive was not what I should have done. There's no way back now. Hopefully you have backups. Oh, excuse me. You gave me access to those, so I deleted those as well. Don't be mad. I'm sorry. Keep wondering when there are no rods. Yeah. Yeah. No. Anyway. All right. So this window configuration. I need that from... So I need to get that somehow from this global config. This guy, these window definitions. I need that somehow in here. Maybe, or do I have, hang on, do I have... What I have, like, just like a window manager, as it were, that handles all the other label stuff. They basically just have pointers to the banks. Actually, I think I started some of that here, but no, I don't. That's not what I wanted. Anything up here? Windows. I got. Oh yeah, so I commented everything out. What was this called? Bank window def. Yeah, just window def. I don't like that either. I might do something similar with that I do with like the labels. So each address is pointing to a definition, and then that definition will link to the current bank or whatever in that window. I think I like that. You went there. So we ain't doing that. Actually, I need like another name for this shit. Maybe account manager would be less error prone? Yes. Having the entire mapping setup copied into every bank? Yeah. Windows state. How about that? Okay. Points to a bank. That bank holds the actual labels and the ranges and all that shit. Let me quickly quote IBM. A computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. How long the hell is that from, that quote? That's a popular description of Google overview with a search being, is it normal for cockroaches to live in your... Yes, absolutely. 1979. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. Definitions. Oh, no, State. Defs? What do I want with this? What the fuck do I want? Okay, so func w window manager. Set label. Address uint label. Let's do like that. Actually, I can just give it a label. LBL. Because the labels have the address in there. So I'll just set the address before doing any of that. Was a real bug, yeah. Was 1996 30 years ago? No, 1996 was not 30 years ago. But 30 years ago was 1996. Wait, yes, 30. Yeah. Can't even do basic math. Even I can do that math. All right, so I want a set label, and I want a W window manager get label. Okay. So, for these, would you then need a get address from label? No. No, because everything here is address oriented. Yeah, so I wouldn't need to ever get an address from the label because I'm defining the labels first and foremost. I'm manually defining all the labels in like a config file, essentially. In here. Kind of like this. This is just a sample that I'm using as like test grounds. This isn't the full list of what my current work for the study box. I haven't done that yet. Real labels are loaded from the config file, right? So any label which added later would be an auto label, which should never overwrite config defined one. Yes, so if there is a config defined label, we're not using the auto label. However, in order to have auto labels at all, I need to have a label created, even if I'd throw that label away later on. Yeah. I've never written a disassembler. Are you first time writing one? And is it hard? So I'm not struggling with the actual disassembly part of it. That's what this is right here. This is, although this is all the end of something. Less. There it is. So this is some disassembly of the stuff I'm actually working with. Getting the instructions disassembled, pretty straightforward. So once I had my configuration file figured out, which I have an actual lexer and parser, a real one, instead of like regex and line-based bullshit. I have a proper lexer parser, a proper reader for all that. So once I got that working, yeah, I had this. That shouldn't be lowercase. I had this spitting out in, I don't know, an hour later. Because, so for disassembly, I'm not actually executing any of this, right? So I don't need to know what every instruction does, or any instruction really does. All I really need to know is the opcode, which is the first byte, and in this architecture, it's just 1 byte per opcode, right? Like it's not multi-byte or multi-length, whatever. And for every single opcode, I just need to know how many arguments, right? And from there, I'll be able to get all the instructions, right? The next step would be decoding the addressing mode, right? Either implied, or the accumulator, or immediate, or relative. Another immediate right there. I don't know why that's 40. That should be hex 40. It is, but I don't have it printed right. Okay, I need to fix that. Hang on. Actually, that stuff's gonna be. Where do I have that? Where did I break that? Oh, it's in here. The stuff that's commented out. I'm okay. Well, I'm not gonna fix that right now. Then I guess I can fix. This though. Make that uppercase. Yeah, a little more complicated, that was the first time making one. Just this one has more advanced features, which are rather trickier to make. Yes, so the trickier part is basically dealing with the mappers and how a mapper can swap out what code is available, right? Which, for my purposes, means different labels are available at different points in the code. Now, does it check if the assembly output is able to be reassembled? No. 6502, you only need a switch case with 256 cases. But the hard part would be to distinguish between code and data. Yeah, so my previous attempts were trying to figure all that stuff out programmatically, right? Trying to figure out what was data, what was code, what like the size of tables and shit, right? And some of that is feasible, but as soon as you get into bank switching, which is very common on NES especially, the difficulty level goes to the goddamn roof for figuring stuff out automatically. At that point, you have a better time just running an emulator to figure out what the instructions are and where they are and all that kind of shit, right? So my approach for that is to not figure anything out automatically. It's just to start from the top and assume from the get-go, unless instructed otherwise, assume everything's code and just try to disassemble it. Right? Disassembler has 3 main sources of possible difficulty. One is the machine architecture being disassembled. Yep. Another is the language being used to develop it. And the third is any additional features desired beyond the most basic of instruction decoding. Yeah. So the basic instruction decoding, that's literally this right here. So instead of using a massive switch case, I'm using a map lookup, right? So the opcodes are the index into a map, and the element in that map is basically a description of how to decode that instruction, right? So it's got the name of it, what is actually printed out for the disassembly, the operand length. The opcode length, which isn't currently used in this implementation yet, but I do want to at least provide the possibility of that being a thing. Am I going to ever use that? I don't know. Possibility is there. Argument mode, argument length and address mode are the two other important things. And honestly, with just these two, the length and the address mode, I can decode all of the opcodes. Labels are where things get tricky, and it's kind of where I'm at right now. Now, if I didn't have to deal with any bank switching, labels would be kind of straightforward. So actually, I wonder if I can. Hang on, let me just do that real quick. Types bank down here. Turn nil. Dasm. All right, and then for everything in all the banks, it's not going to come out nicely at all, but fucking whatever. All right, so for this, no, I need adders. That's going to be a uint slice, and then for adder, and who cares in bank dot decoded. I don't need to do that, actually. I can just do for I equals uint. No, I equals bank dot address. I is less than, because that's a uint. I is less than bank dot address plus bank dot size. Deck is going to be bank dot decoded at I. Do I have... So that's going to be this guy, decoded. I have some ASM there. Right. So this... I need to throw labels at this guy, essentially. For now... Just to demonstrate a point, I think. Gonna do that. Labels like that. And then over here, want to print line deck dot asm I and bank dot labels. We're going to pass that in just for demonstration. It's only going to have this bank's labels, which is fine. It's all right. I plus equals deck dot length of deck dot raw. Should be fine. Code it. Really? Oh, because I'm in the wrong one. The organization is all the goddamn place. This here. Labels. Like that. Actually, that needs to be a map of uint. Like that. Types this one. Not a list of it. That's what that is in the bank. String. I just want a relative. That. If okay. What name? All right, down here. So in here, address mode. Args. Recursive set abomination tools Had each bank control file indicate which bank's labels were to be used, which covers the bulk of the simple cases. For each but each control file also indicated which addresses ranges were inside, and the scripts would find any outside references and put them in a separate file that would so they could be tracked. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm still figuring out how I want to handle a lot of this stuff. Okay, address mode. Oh, I need another. Where the hell was that? Is it in here? Do I have one of them? That's not the one I want, though. I want this guy. So we're gonna yoink that. So we're ignoring those. This guy, that's relative. We're already handling that up there. Default, sure. I don't need any of that. Label, okay, equals labels. di dot arg, I think, right? Yeah, arg. If, okay. This needs to be in here. This is ugly. Oh my god. FNDI. Oh, ew. Oh, this is using that. Oh my god. No, 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 no. I don't want to be using that. Ew. 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 Heh. No, I don't want the functions. I want argster. That's going to be this guy. Argster that. And it is going to find that. So I shouldn't have to worry about that because that's just going to be in there. So let's just do that. Get rid of that. Okay. Get rid of that. And all this, we're going to do that. Okay. All right. And then this is going to be argster equals strings dot replace argster. We're going to replace arg with label dot name 1. I don't like how I have this set up. Should be too difficult to follow all code paths, so there are no complicated calculated jumps, but right bank switching makes it interesting. Yeah, bank switching just throws so many wrenches into the equation. Calculated jumps aren't really all that rare. All they're often done as returns instead. Yeah, so it's pushing shit to the stack and then returning. Sometimes even do things like inline arguments, meaning a subroutine will adjust its return address to skip a few bytes. It uses arguments. Yes. I discovered not too long ago that the Famicom Disk System ROM BIOS does exactly that. So it's not like, oh, it's some obscure whatever. No, the machine that uses these fucking floppies does that. Who's the first character in the string? No, that's the number of replacements. The number of times I want to replace something. So -1 is replace everything, or I could just use replace all, but I'm just replace is fine. Yeah. Do it that way, I guess. Arg stir. Oh, and this has no args. That's going down there. Else, arg stir is going to be huh? Wait a minute. What the fuck am I doing here? It's just going to be the name. But this for the name. Yoink. Nope. Paste that there. And all that. I hate this so much already. This is just so disgusting. Return that. Okay, for immediate, just return. Nope. Or not immediate. Accumulator implied or immediate. I'm confusing the shit out of myself here. Hang on. I need backup. I need backup. I need backup. Wait, what the fuck? What the? Wait, hey. If I try and access something in a map that does not exist, what happens? I'm complicating this. I don't need to do any of that. So this shit comes out of there. Put it there. God. All right. String is nothing. It's 0, etc. Right. Yeah. So that's a. Yeah, pointer. So that's going to be nil. That's just nil. Okay. That's fine. Relative we're handling separate because we do some math on the address. Which honestly, hang on. No, actually, let's do that down here. Yoink that. Put that there. Get rid of that. Hold off on that. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. These guys don't have any of that. Okay. So, if label is nil, we don't have anything for the actual label itself. Return. We want the instruction right there. The argument stuff. And all this. Yoink. That's the raw, right? Oops, paste. So that is di.insert.name. We're going to do the instruction stuff there. The argument there. And then I need the address. And then the raw string. Actually, let's just put that there. So that's always going to return that. Okay. Argster, take this, put it down here. Is that. So that's going to give me that first and foremost. Okay. Label is not nil. Change your place. Argster. Arg. With label.name. Else, replace that with di.var? Yeah, arg. That's it. No. I need arg length, I think, right? Do I? If di.insert.arg length equals 1, that's in bytes. Put that up there. Else for maybe. Okay. So now down here. Oh, where are they doing it? All right. Make. Oh, yep. I do want the $sign in there. Thank you. Okay. Undefined label. Oh, right, because that is over here. Six types label. 277. Insert.insert. Okay. di.insert. Find instructions. What the fuck do you mean I don't find instructions? Oh, 278, because that's different. That is this address space. Or namespace, not address space, namespace. Imports that for the circular? It's like, yeah, okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 1,000 types from 652. Uh-oh. Types. Wait. That types? I can't do that. This is somewhere else. No, I'm still breaking something. How? What? There's instructions. Oh, because it's going back and forth with this. Because this, that's what I need to get rid of. And this can go away now. There we go, okay. What do you mean undefined labels? What the fuck do you mean undefined labels? That's in... Not plural. It's not plural. It's not plural. Instruction 35. Fucking God. I'm making a mess. Making an absolute fucking mess. Oh, I can just hang on. Okay. Now that's going to break this guy. probably shouldn't have bothered putting all these in their own namespaces, honestly. Excuse me, my fucking headache for all this. I don't even know if that's used anymore, actually. I think I removed that entirely. No, make. Could have not used args. Huh? Can I use that? Okay, 6. Yeah, this here. Address is an integer here? No. Absolutely not. UN all the way. I changed everything into UN from the config down at this point, I think. Mostly, except the arg value on a decoded instruction, because that can be negative. What about strings? Okay, fair. Yeah. Fix that. 71 TI arg. UN, because it's not relative there. Replace, I need the 1, 1, 1. 21. Whoa. All right, 68. Oh, yeah, because I need to cast that to UN. But I need to cast this guy to int for the math. Undefined, of course. That's what formats. The fucking goddamn it. Hang on. I don't like anything like this. The method address mode anyway, or at least belongs together with it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like how I have this any of this organized. It's all terrible. I hate it so much. It's such a tangle right now. I hate it so much. So much. I think I might just, for now, fuck it. We're just gonna drop it in here. For now, we'll figure out a better way to do it later. Undefined types, because I don't need the types anymore. We're in that namespace now. Okay. Bank. 62. Undefined. Decode.asm. Type of a map. Okay, so that's because I need to give it the index. Undefined I. No. Slice is imported, not used. Yeah, okay, fair. Missing return 130, 37. That's not being used right now. Oh my god. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I'm glad I lined everything up. That's nice. So I could just do all that. Format imported and not used. Strings imported and not used. Undefined instruction, 48. Undefined address mode relative. What? 253. Types dot. Getting closer though. 48. These are in a different spot now. Fair. Not enough arguments to the call. 82. Okay. Go away. Because we're doing that down here now. Invalid operation. Mismatch types uint and int. Yep. What? No. Redo that. Stop that. Uint. Dennis! It built! Amazing. It compiled. Oh my god. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. How you guys been? Now, let's see if it actually works. Where's my... There it is. Holy shit, it works! Oh my god! Oh my god, it worked! Kung Pao Jeff, hello, hello. Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, it compiled all thanks to last mile's rating. Yeah, right? I don't like working code. Holy shit, it works! Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect timing. I spent the last half an hour untangling code and fixing compile errors because, you know, uint versus int and... Oh, this function doesn't exist. Shit! How you doing? So for everyone coming in, welcome, number one. I am working on a disassembler for 6502 assembly, specifically for the NES. That's the system I'm targeting for all this. There are disassemblers out there, yes. The one I was using was part of the CC65 compiler suite, or the program itself was DA65. It has some shortfalls, some shortcomings, that honestly added up enough that I got fed up and said, fine, I'll do it myself. So there we go. That's where I am now. You'll lose, yeah. Oh no, I'll lose that shit-ass job. Mr. Linus, meow. How you doing, by the way? But yeah, so what I am going through right now is basically label management, right? So the part that, you know, that actually works now. Some of, because I don't have all of the definitions that I have in my other project imported into this stuff, right? But labels or addresses are being associated with a proper text label. Disassembler would mean assembly to a higher level. Not really. So I'm doing reverse engineering. This is all for reverse engineering work, right? So I've got a few pieces of hardware. This is half of one of them. This is one of my disassembling projects. This is a study box, or half of a study box. The other half of it is right here. I've got some disk system stuff, the Soseki Fami, which is in a box now. That's related to that. Another thing is the titler that I want to figure out how that works. That thing's jank as hell. It's a weird Famicom with a fucking touchpad drawing thing on it to write characters. It's amazing. Point is, I do a lot of reverse engineering work, and I have started to revise my workflow. In the past, it has been strictly inside of Messen here. So if I open this up and then debugger, basically all of my reverse engineering work has been inside this debugger, where I would put all the labels and all that stuff direct in here, right? So edit label, I put my comments in there. But for documentation and readability, it needs to be in a better format, essentially, right? And that was really highlighted with the most recent piece of new hardware I got. Well, I say new, but it's from the 90s. Which is the Soseki Fami, which is a weird piece of kit. I'm going to grab a picture of it real quick. Over here, and then over here. It's this thing. Or rather, it's part of this, right? So down at the bottom, we've got the Famicom disk system. Right above that, that's like a floppy drive, right? Right above that, we have the Famicom. Up top, this black thing right there, that is the RAM adapter for the Famicom disk system. Normally that would plug directly into the Famicom. There's something in the way you'll see. This is a standard Famicom cartridge, NROM cartridge. Nothing fancy on this one. And then this is the Soseki Fami. This right here is basically a backup device, right? So the reason it's got 2 cartridge slots on the top is so you can pop a cartridge in and back it up to floppy disk, to the disk, right? To one of these things. These guys right here. These little guys. It's yellow, which is why my green screen filter is freaking out, apparently. Yeah, so it can back up games to that, and it can also play the games off of that directly, right, without the cartridge present. Now to do that, to enable that to happen, this device is more than just some switches and some circuitry to redirect signals. It does have that, yes. It also has a chunk of RAM. So for running anything off of the disk system, you have to use the disk system, obviously, right? And part of that means you need to go through the RAM adapter. The RAM adapter has the BIOS at the very top of address space from hex E1000 to the end, right, to FFFF. But a cartridge isn't expecting the disk system BIOS there. It is expecting its own code there. So the Soseki Fami has to accommodate that. So basically what happens is it copies some stuff around and remaps that top bank to be a writable piece of RAM, essentially, right? It's a really nifty piece of tech, what they're doing here. Anyway, so for disassembling that, I couldn't use Messen because Messen doesn't think that anything should be, doesn't think that there's RAM down there, because there isn't with the standard disk system, right? So after And ultimately, like, a lot of it won't work in Messen because there's what's it? Mapper rights, essentially, the bank swaps that happen that Messen doesn't implement. So I changed my approach a little bit and used a standalone disassembler for a lot of this stuff. So I have somewhere, where the hell did I put it now that I'm thinking about it? Do I still, actually, I still have that open somewhere, don't I? That's the study block stuff. I don't even remember where I put it now. Oh wait, yes I do. It's gonna be Ness, and then Solseki Fami, and then Dasm stuff. It's over here. All right. Yeah. So basically, my disassembly is the Famicom Tower Power. Yeah, exactly. So basically, my disassembly is you know, a bunch of these guys, right? So have a look at that. Gives a bunch of addresses, labels for different things, right? That's a short one, actually. Wow. We get a bigger one. Post copy. Nope. Where's one? I could have swore I had one that was more significant in size. Pre-copy. There's a post copy. It's large enough. There we go. Yeah. So this is, you know, listing out a bunch of things, you know, different labels and whatnot. And then the actual disassembled code for that. What is this? Qt file, SF-ROM Qt file, post copy. Right here. Generates this, right? Yeah. You can see in here, there's some stuff that's, you know, it's got a, inline arguments. That's what that is. That nonsense. That's part of the Famicom Disk System BIOS. This one, nope. How the hell did I set that up? Is it labels? Yeah, they're in here somewhere. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so I had started doing it like this, and then this disassembler started to fall apart when I threw too much at it. It doesn't account for a lot of labels. Like the maximum number is like 256 until it starts overwriting, I think, other labels. And the maximum size of any given comment is 256 characters, which will not do. So I basically went, fine, I'll do it myself. And I am rewriting. I'm not rewriting. I am writing from scratch a disassembler to basically do this, but tailored more specifically to my workflow. Now, it's a more dense version of the old Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Game Genie, Genesis stack. Yeah. This is how the second device is together, not what it does. Yeah. So this is a fully functional set of hardware. That Sega Power of Tower, or Tower of Power, whatever the hell, right? With the Sonic and Knuckles like 7 times in the tower, like that's not gonna work. I don't think, right? And we have like other games plugged in there too, and the 32X and all, like 3 32Xs is like no, that's not functional, right? That is all functional in that picture right there. That's how it's meant to be used, which is fucking hilarious to me. And I can plug more shit in too to you know, keep it functional, you know? Like I can plug in a study box in the top there as well, just for shits and giggles. I did that and then immediately regretted my decision because it started bending, not pins, but like some of the grounding metal, right? Trying to get the thing off because of how jank the hardware is. real jank. But yeah, pretty advanced stuff. It's not that, so the disassembly isn't that bad. So what I'm struggling with right now isn't decoding instructions. That I had done like an hour. There's like 3 stages for this disassembler, right? There's getting the configuration parsed, which was like stage 1. And the configuration, let me open up one of those, or not one of, but the one I'm using right now, looks like this. This is the configuration, right? The global section tells me, it lists out the input ROM, right? Some output stuff. This is the mess and label file. The architecture that we're disassembling, currently this is ignored. The types of comments, which I need to properly implement. Now that I think of it, I also haven't implemented the includes there. Oops. Well, we'll get back to the windows in a second. A bunch of global labels, which again I need to implement. I need to account for those. And then I have banks listed out, right? Banks being a chunk of the input ROM, the input PRG, right? And basically this configuration maps that to a CPU address space and gives it a size. And it associates a bunch of labels with that address range, basically, right? So the idea being that there's multiple banks that can be swapped out at any given time when you're running the ROM, right? But the disassembler has no idea, number 1, how that mapper's set up. Number 2, how it maps everything, like what the sizes of everything are, the banks, and where they are, and all that nonsense. And 3, it doesn't know when to switch banks, right? So the windows I have set up or defined up here, right, are basically my definition of the mapper setup, right? So there's some RAM banks. This is the low program ROM bank starting at hex 8000, and then the fixed program ROM bank starting at hex C1000, right? Given the sizes for those, and then basically I can assign a bank to a window, right? Given an address. So while it's going through the fixed bank, while it's going through that. Starting at address C1000, like starting at the beginning, basically, up until the next swap, that low bank is going to be filled. That low window is going to be filled with bank 01, which is this guy down here, right? That's the idea. So when code from one bank calls code in another bank, it can use the appropriate label or generate the appropriate label over in that other bank. That is where I currently am right now, by the way. But getting this parsed was step 1. I have this parsed. I still need to figure out some auxiliary things, like I said, the include. But other stuff is like getting that actually implemented in the disassembly portion of it. Are there conventions for this stuff, or it varies with devices and manufacturers? So that's part of the reason I am I'm allowing arbitrary definitions of Windows, because it's the wild, wild west, right? For the Commodore, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure for the Commodore it has a memory management unit built in, right? Which so that means that it has the built-in capability to address more space than the 6502 can address directly. It does that by swapping out a certain address space with different data, essentially, right? The NES has no such memory management unit, right? So it can only see what is directly, or what is in the CPU's address space directly, right? What is currently mapped in. So NROM games, or no mappers, right? They have their memory chips wired directly to pins in the cartridge. Netrix, how you doing? Welcome. Wired to pins directly in the cartridge. and is dead simple, doesn't do any changing of anything, right? But that means you only have 32K of available ROM. For games early on in the life cycle of the NES, that was fine. But the later on, the later on games were released, the more companies understood the hardware and hit the space limitations of the hardware before other limitations, right? Graphical or audio and all that kind of stuff. So they would just stuff more hardware into the cartridge to allow the Famicom or NES to address more space. And because it's not part of the base console, the cartridge can do whatever the hell it wants, right? Which turns into each company doing their own thing, which is why we have a massive list of mapper numbers, which means magic. Yeah. So mapper zero is the no mapper, right? If there's RAM in it, it's gonna be there, I guess. And direct wired ROM, right? No changes whatsoever, right? Character capacity 8K, can't change that out. Program RAM capacity, if there's any in there, it's like family basic stuff. Program ROM capacity 16 or 32. If it's only 16, the upper half is mirrored, right? Yeah, it can absolutely. It absolutely can. Yes, because all that is just a chip wired directly to the damn thing, right? and a battery in there, right? So it can. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's that common. Family Basic is one of the cartridges that does have that. Also, a write protect switch for that RAM. Sure. But yeah, so this is like the simplest form of that, right? But then, starting with the very next one, things kind of go off the rails a little bit, right? So this one, MMC1, is a Nintendo mapper. You can see the ROM capacity, 256 or 512. And the windows for that are 16 plus 16 fixed or a full 32K, right? And depending on, what values you write where, it'll change out what is currently visible to the CPU, right? And so for MMC1, it's like shift register bullshit. So you got to write the value a bunch with shifting and all kinds of nonsense, right? Because it only reads on the lowest bit that you write. So you got to write it like 4 or 5 times, right? Other mappers don't have that. It's just bank select. Write the bank you want to this byte. And then it switches. No shifting required, right? And this one, the UX ROM, 16K plus 16 fixed. That's the only orientation. Configuration that it can have, right? And then there's other ones. I don't know their numbers. What are the VRCs? These guys, the Konamis? These guys add audio. So they add extra audio channels. And these ones have a sizable graphics capacity. 256 or 512 CHR capacity. With 1K window. Yeah. Yeah, and this is all written differently, right? And I don't want to have to implement every single mapper in my disassembler. I just want to let whoever, just say, okay, here's the window. Can you get that info from the cartridge? No. Nope. It has to pass it to the console? Nope. The console has no idea it's happening. The console is oblivious to all of it. Which is hilarious. So the console being oblivious means that if the mapper is advanced enough, it can monitor what, for instance, the PPU is looking for, time it right, and give it something else, regardless of the address that it just asked for, right? So typically on the NES, the colors. Typically, you can only I don't have it open. Let me open one. Hang on. SN2. Donkey Kong 3. Let's open this guy up. Okay. I'm gonna pause that real quick. Debugger. Tile map viewer. This guy right here. Okay. So colors. Attributes. No, I want this grid. All right. This is the attribute grid. Each grid cell has 4 tiles in it. Every tile here must use the same colors, the same palette, right? So you can see here, the text is using a palette that has white in it, right? But over here, it's using a palette that's got green and orange and all that nonsense, right? Display mode, attribute, right? You can see, what the hell's going on? That's funny. What? For the period, it changes. Why the hell does it change just for the period? Whatever. But yeah, so 4 tiles share the same palette. There are some mappers, Rainbow and MMC5, that allow for more. They allow for each individual tile to use a specific palette instead of grouping them in sets of 4. It does this by keeping track of what the PPU is doing by looking at the addresses it's calling, right? And when certain conditions are correct, instead of giving the PPU what it asked for, the mapper goes, no, 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 no. I don't care what you asked for. I'm giving you this. and the console is oblivious to all this, but it just works. Because again, it's oblivious. It doesn't actually care. So yeah, you can do some interesting things with that. What I have done with that, something rather recently. Nope. Let's go over to. Hang on. Code. NES. This right here. So this implementation of Tetris on the NES has the proper colors for all of the pieces. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do, but okay, sure. And do I have one set up that like that where I can see like all the color? Oh. All right, let's see if that's... Okay, let's see if we can find one of them. Not the event viewer. I don't want that. No, time viewer. Perfect, right there. So these 3 right here are all using one. Not all, but yeah, there are 1, 2, 3 different palettes being used right here, where normally there's only 1 allowed. Colorblind, if you say they are proper, they must be. I'm sorry. So the original Tetris for the NES, everything was just it was a design that was different for them, right? I think, maybe, like the tile pattern, right? But all of the colors were the same. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That and I haven't actually looked at the code for it, but apparently the official Tetris on the NES is coded terribly, right? So the calculation that it does for clearing rows is in some god-awful loop that takes too much time, especially if you have a really high score, apparently. So the higher your score and the more lines you've cleared, right, the greater chance of you soft locking the game. Or not even hard locking the game, right, crashing the game, where it gets stuck in a loop that the loop takes so long. Slow and inaccurate, yeah. But the loop takes so long that it takes more than a frame. And when that happens, because of how that game is set up, so it starts the loop, right? Gets interrupted for the next frame, and that restarts the exact same loop. But that's just going to go on even... But that nothing's changed. So now it's just going to restart the loop and still not finish in time. And it's going to restart the loop and not finish in time. Then restart the loop and not finish it. So you're just stuck there as it's trying to calculate score or some shit. Right? So I went, there's got to be a better way that they could have done this. So this is my project of figuring that out. And yes, there absolutely was a better way that they could do it. In fact, the way was, I figured out a way that was so much better that I could do it for 2 players at the same time. I don't have another controller hooked up right now, so otherwise I'd show you the other player moving around. But this is doing the calculations for both players at the same time with the ghost calculation. So yeah, absolutely possible. But they just programmed it badly, poorly, whatever. Right? And I think my score calculation is accurate. I don't know. I can't add very well, but I think it is. That wasn't a good spot for that. You're hired. Yay! But yeah. So I re-implemented it because I felt like it. This isn't like finished because you can see the crap at the bottom there. That's supposed to be like notifications for the different like T-spins. Oh yeah, I have T-spins in here, by the way, and wall kicks. Those work. In fact, do I have that's one of the practice modes, right? Practice DT cannon. No, okay, it's the other way. Nope, no. Oh. Bam. And then do it again. Bam. DT cannon. Right? So I've got T-spins working. I've got wall kicks working. Bunch of stuff. So the TSD tower. What was this one? Oh yeah. And this one. Boom. And then nope. Boom. I'm using the Xbox 360 controller for this, and the D-pad on that is not very great for this kind of thing. Boom. Boom. Yeah, it works, right? Ow. But yeah, so I wanted to I wanted to try my hand at, okay, well, how would I approach this problem, right? So I did. Well, there's that, and then there's the race condition incurred by the controller polling routine, which corrupts the jump instructions pointer. Of course. We're coding terribly from the beginning, it seems. Yeah. Well. But that was a fun project. I should probably finish that up soon, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Probably. You know, let me get this. I think I want to get this common, this include implemented, because I want to start getting all the labels that I have from the full reverse engineering project into here to see how it handles it. Before that, though, I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, don't go anywhere. God. So, immediately before stream, I stubbed my toe on this bastard of a server. That bastard right there. I stubbed my toe on this guy. Toes, excuse me. I basically kicked that barefoot. It's getting swollen. Ow. Ow. Limping to the bathroom. Fucking thing. I need to move that, honestly. That thing has that thing has also drawn blood before, by the way. This fucking thing. So it's got, you can't see it because it's not at a good angle. But at the back of this thing, it has a fucking wheel. Think of like the Heelys, right? The shoe that has that like one wheel on in the heel, right? The Heelys or whatever the hell, right? Where in order to use the wheel or going around the wheel, you gotta, like, you know, lift up your foot to the heel so you can just use that, right? Same idea here. You lift up the front of the thing and it puts the wheel down, kind of, right? It you know, puts the weight on the wheel so you can drag the fucking thing around, basically, right? Well, the base on this bastard is like flared out and kind of almost sharp plastic. Anyway, it's heavy enough that dragging this around, it's heavy enough and like the base goes out wide enough that if you're not careful, it'll roll right into your ankles. Found that out the hard way, where it rolled into my ankles and drew fucking blood when I was moving into my apartment in the first place. Fucking thing. That's like, let's hope it goes down good. Yeah, it's fine, probably. Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't hurt if I don't touch it. Mm. I'll live probably. I don't know. All right, let's see if I can get this this common or this include working real quick actually. So we're gonna do this test data SBX bank one dot kfug. I do not have Heelys, no. I'd fucking break my neck if I had them now, honestly. All right. So with that, let's go back to the config, to the parser, and parser on. Okay, so this is Hollywood, Mexico. Growth box. How can I achieve it? So I've got growth box, yes, but I also have a pretty aggressive blue light filter turned on. I just turned that off. It goes down to like 3K or something like that. It gets very aggressive. Yeah, 3K. Like less than half. I'll turn that off for now though, because I've got a bunch of lights on, so I don't actually need it on right now. All right, read. So basically, real read, yeah. Basically, I need to. Oh, hang on. Before that. Before that, like I was saying, I'll get rid of that file in a second. Types global. Oh, good. I do have them in there like that. Okay. Now, does it parse it correctly? Config parse. No. Config parse. That's what I want. Okay. I think earlier when you were talking about this disassembler complexity, in some ways the config parser is more complex than the instruction. Oh, it 100% is. The instruction disassembly is just a fucking map lookup, and all right, read 3 bytes. The first one's the opcode. it is trivial. The instruction decoding. Trivial. Okay, parse global. Embedded C in the 90s? No, I was in fucking middle school in the 90s. In grade school. All right. Input include. Okay, so it does that. All right. Time travel. Congrats. Thank you. Wow. I also, at my day job, I work. The language I work in is not a modern language. It is an ancient language. It's called PLB. It's COBOL, but worse. 2003? No, 2006. 1971? How about that ancient, but exude COBOL. Would you be surprised to learn that I have actually written COBOL at a day job before? It was some jank ass shit. It was COBOL in a Windows environment with a Windows GUI on like Windows XP. It was so jank. It's a Diego. Diego? I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Hello. That means you're rich. Unfortunately, no. So I don't work in COBOL right now. I'm not sure I'd want to, honestly. I'm very rusty, so it'd take me a hot minute to relearn some stuff. But yeah, right now the language I work in is called PLB. For business, tells me this must be a well thought out language. The exact opposite, actually. Godfather! Thank you for 63 months. Holy shit.
Hacker man. He's the
All
most powerful hacker of all time.
Strings dot
For the Emperor.
pulls. So this is some very clean PLD. This is what it looks like. All right. This is not the kind of code I deal with every day. But very similar to COBOL, but you know, worse, obviously. Right? Not too terrible looking at like this. Unfortunately, the code I work with in my day job is closer to this. This is syntactically correct. Hands and pulls. Please, for the love of God, work this time. Kinda, yeah. Yeah. Please. Oh God, please no. Oh God. But yeah, so this is syntactically correct. They didn't believe in reserved words. Oh, I love that. They broke. Yeah. Move if from move. Reset go to by if. Bump go to. Move F pointer go to from if. Reset go to. If equals else, display end if. Go to if go to does not equal end if. Else display. Yeah. For T to 2 to 2 to 2 to display T. Repeat. You hate this? That is correct. That is the correct response for this. Does display print the last text? No. No, it does not. Display is the string hello? Yeah, and the language is screaming at you too. Yeah. If you didn't hate it, you should see a psychiatrist. And you go see a shrink. Yeah. Something like that. When people at work produce painful code, it's in C#. If it was this, I might have returned to retail. Oh my God. No, you can't override operators here, but no, because that's not an override. That is different scopes. There's a a label scope, a code scope, right? A data scope, a code scope, and verb scope, basically. Yeah. C# is impossible to make painful code in. Challenge accepted. Unless you use nullables or enumerables or, okay, well, almost anything. Challenge accepted. Yeah. So the worst part for a lot of the code that I have to deal with isn't necessarily this kind of thing. I mean, they'll do shit like this all the goddamn time, right? BLK 10 and 11 that are the same size, but they're all blanks. It's dumb as hell. But what I hate, specifically with my code bases that I have to use, are variable names truncated beyond reasonableness, right? So, like, work directory, right? How would you shorten that? Or one that's actually used, work environment. That's the directory for all the data files. How how would you go about shortening that variable, but have it mean the same thing? Workdir. That's what I've done, yes. I've done workdir. Work env. Maybe like that. Those are still too long. I hate this. I hate it so much. Work order. It's a number. WKORD. Jump off a fucking bridge. How dare you? Page cunt. Page count. You see how you absolutely. Could have been WD. Yeah. Could have been. Wasn't. At work, I have to edit a 16,000 line XML file that may or may not control the entire CI/CD pipeline. So that's fun. Oh, fun! Nice. Is it in UTF-16? So one of the programs we have, it's a external, it's a vendor's program. So it's enterprise software that we've licensed. The W and N commented out. The configuration file for that is a 500 meg XML file because it's UTF-16. So every other fucking byte is a null byte. What? It takes like a good 5 minutes just to export the damn thing. That is long before any of the LLMs. You'll notice the date on that is 2019. And that code, that specific code, I love how, by the way, that this iteration of my post doesn't even crop correctly. Gotta love that. Gotta love it. This was converted, I think, from like old ASP code or not ASP, VB6 code probably into C#. I ended up deleting this file, by the way. This file had so many more. They had another one for like strings and shit. Bunch of different, bunch of same style of function for a bunch of different variable types. And it was, oh god, so terrible. I ended up deleting the file. It wasn't used anywhere, thankfully, but, no. There are uses of W as a value that is used as a beverage. Oh. Automapper? There's more coil in Minecraft. We abuse the hell out of it. Automapper. I'm not sure I'm familiar. Because we check if a parameter is null but doesn't annotate it as nullable, or the opposite, annotate as nullable but never check. Oh, God. Oh. This is the code base, by the way, that I had an issue where, for some UI bullshit on the website, it wasn't loading a customer correctly for a certain thing. Thankfully, it was a test customer, like a test account, right? So I had to look at the database to see, like, okay, well, why can't it find this customer ID? Like, that ID exists in this table. Why doesn't it exist in this table? Kind of thing, right? So I look at it, and the customer ID, the number, the customer ID number is in scientific notation. What? Why? Why is it in scientific notation? Perfect, right? Just such cancer, so terrible. AutoMapper allows you to map properties from one class to another. Ah. Gary says to only use it for simple things. It is responsible for one of our API inputs taking 1 to 2 seconds instead of... Oh my god. That's disgusting. Full seconds for an API. Full seconds. That's disgusting. That's unacceptable. God. All right. Okay, so how do I want to handle this? It's not confusing. It's not what that should have been, but so basically I need to rerun this routine essentially for this isn't going to work well, but right, and then we're just going to take the banks. Not the windows or anything else, just the banks. Types, config, banks and RAM banks. Config.banks equals append. Oops. Config.banks and inc.banks. And do the same thing for RAM banks. Let's see if this works. I don't think it will, but we'll find out. We're gonna hit an internal API that takes like 5 seconds to return something. Oh, asking for a path to something from a game server, and really badly serializing the path actors themselves in the JSON instead of just their. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry. At least I work with programmers. Already bad C#. Can you imagine what non-programmers would do if let loose? Yeah, my boss is a non-programmer. I can tell you what he does. He sends shit through ChatGPT and wonders why I call him an idiot. We're missing a return nil on 32. Huh? Oh, yep. Good catch. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Hey, Zebis. Welcome. My boss's programmer still sends stuff to ChatGPT. Oh god, I'm so fucking fed up with it. So fed up with it. And here we see a good example of how it's much easier to write a tool for yourself and for others to use. You have to cause an include loop. So ideally, this right here should like have a That's not what I wanted to put there. Ooh, no. We're gonna change it. We're gonna switch that up a little bit. We're gonna switch that up a little bit. Raw error equals os dot read file like that. Parsing, yeah, sure. Error reading. Jojo, how you doing? Welcome.
Hacker man.
Thank you for 83 months. Holy shit. Hello, hello.
Software and game development, English, Linux, Arch Linux, Linux Gaming, Linux Assembly, 6502 Assembly, 6502 Famicom Net.
6,502. Yeah. Thank you. How you doing? Inc error equals real read raw. Oh, no, that's gonna be inc raw. Inc raw. Row raw. True. Yoink. Paste. Like that. If length kafuga, or if nested and length of kafuga global dot include is greater than 0. Nested includes not allowed. Okay. Let's see if this breaks literally everything. It built. No such reading file directory missing. Okay. Okay, so that's file. Put the file in there. Yeah. Let's try that again. Or the make run common kafuga. It's because that's not where that actually is. Ooh, no. Okay, that needs to be relative to where the fuck that file is. Shit. What do you need the nested in the parser for? I don't. Oops. Okay. What I do need, though, is I need to pass in, like, the file name for this. Or, like, the working directory. Base dir string. This one is just going to be this directory. New developer, how you doing? Welcome. And then this one is going to be file path dot dir file name, and then I need to give it path file path like that. And this is going to file path.join base dir file. Too many arguments to call. Fair. Not enough arguments to call. Oh, okay, that's gonna be here. Base dir. I mean, fair. Yeah, okay, fair. Ooh, okay, so that's why I would need the nested, so it doesn't look at global. No, if nested, return nil. Do not verify. The verification will happen on the top level. Ah! Why? What? What? Segmentation violation. What? Okay, well. Runtime error. Invalid memory address or nil pointer dereference. Okay, so the bank is dead. Shouldn't that recursive call use the... I mean, I suppose. Yeah. Still cracks. Okay, 90. Huh? How did that happen? Interesting. Because that should decode every single address. O4X plus O4X. No, it's gonna be bank address plus I. What? What size is it getting? That ain't right. I did something wrong with that config, didn't I? What? Oh, and that, bank address size. Yeah. Okay. What the hell? Where's Dakota filled in? Up here. Well, it's part of it anyway. And that only just started happening, too. Person be like, don't you want to use AS so you can work less hard or do more with less effort? No, it does. Actually enjoy solving problems. Yeah, right? That was one of my arguments too, is like, make it go to meetings for me. Let me do what I want to, the thing I want to do, which is program. I know you don't like programming. Fuck off. You also like golf. I hate golf. So like, let me enjoy what I enjoy. All right? Stop trying to take this shit from me. Why are you doing this? Yeah, you can be great for getting kids into coding, but eventually they'll hit a wall where they have to dig in and learn more. But I'm pretty sure there's languages like Scratch and that's simple. Yeah, Scratch is great for that kind of thing, isn't it? Scratch, JS, Python, C, C++. Oh, nice. I had a discussion this morning about this. I worked retail for 7 years, been programming professionally for 2. I still enjoy solving the problem. I find it easier to do than writing the code myself. Not arguing with AI who wants to do a backflip into spaghetti roller coaster. Yeah, ugh. Yeah. Play sports. I'm trying to go fly this week. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the beers and hanging out with a coworker. Yeah. Crap with casual golf course. It wasn't uppity. Yeah, my boss is uppity. My boss, he raised rich. Right. So you know when he was younger in college, he was the polo shirt at the golf course, right? That was him. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if he does, but I wouldn't be surprised if he owned a boat, basically, right? I wouldn't be surprised. She'd rather not have to work and doesn't understand that not everyone feels like working equals terrible trudging modern slavery. Yeah. Honestly, I wish I could not have to worry about where my next paycheck came from. Right? Like if I didn't have to do that, if I didn't have to worry about my income, it's not like I'd be lazing around just watching TV all day. I'd be doing this shit all day. There's so much reverse engineering shit that I want to do, right? This is part of it, don't get me wrong. But there's so much stuff that I just do not have the time for right now, or the energy for. That's the big one. I don't have the energy for. That if I didn't have my day job, I'd just be doing that full time, right? But making a paycheck off of that, I'm not sure how I'd go about doing that. You know. Where's the planet? Yeah. Yeah, but like, and that's something I enjoy doing, right? I wouldn't want AI doing that. Fuck off. I want to be able to figure that shit out. Even if AI can take all our jobs, do we really trust the same people who push gambling, gacha, gooning games to kids to also care enough about to make UBI or something? Yeah. They won't. That's just the thing. They haven't. Like, that's never been their goal. Their goal's always been control. Right? It's always about control. It's not about making your life easier. It's about making their life easier. So they don't have to talk to the pores. Right? It's frustrating. Yeah. It's like that as a kid, I was like, for each person has their own clubs. Brought his kid, and I was like, wait, what? Huh? He was telling me some golf courses don't like it when you don't have the right kind of polo shirt. Oh my god! See that? I'd burn the place to the ground, honestly. Each person has their own clubs. I don't care what management prefers. Still can't be fired. Every politician has 80 and task force with their iPhone 17 Pro Max. Yeah, sanity check. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna copy paste, and then I'll remove the include. How is this not panicking before? What? What? Actually, let's do print F. Format plus new line. Okay. Actually, no, up here. Do I have, I need to do this way, actually. BB, V. Oh. It's decoding shit. Offset. Not all the way, I guess, but what the hell? If you're allowed to replace the water heater, is it what? There's a new one here that is going to call the Superheat H1. Also a Bitcoin mine. Fuck off. Absolutely not. I ain't touching that shit. No, I ain't doing that. Not doing that crap. Okay, I do notice it doesn't go all the way to the end of the address. What? 4,000. That's going well beyond what it should be going to. Is it? Well, no, 4,000 to 8. The fuck? Types decoded. And we'll just do raw. I don't care. Do that raw. How dare you? Davrossi? Am I saying that right? Hello, how you doing? For satisfaction, are you intending to do some code archaeology as well? I do that for a day job. Davros one, gotcha. So It's a little bit of both. So I'm writing this disassembler out of necessity. The disassembler I was using before has some limitations that I have run up against that I am not comfortable working around. So I said, fine, I'll do it myself. I've been meaning to anyway, to make a proper disassembler. So this is my foray into that. Oh. All right. Okay, so after all that, we're going to turn verbose off. Verbose equals false. Turn it off, and then we're going to turn it on if bank.name equals bank01. Turn that back on. No, actually, we're just going to take this, put it there, do that. Huh? I beg your motherfucking pardon? Not labels. Why is it short by 2? It's less than the bank offset. Oh, because that, okay, so that is offset plus size. This is an address plus size. And is less than the length. And I is less than I minus address is less than the length of bank dot decoded. No. What? 86. 86. This one? Am I doing something wrong there? Let me undo what I just did there. So that offset is the current offset in the file. All right, let me reorganize this. Okay, so these are in CPU address space. That is the start address of the banks. There. Right? I'm going to get rather high. Well, yes. Because, so, oh. Hang on. I have the offset into this bank. Yeah, I like the minus better. Okay, there we go. There we go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that and that. Bring that back. No, give me the full command. Less. That one. I'm still short by 2 there for some reason. I don't know why it's short by 2. I don't like that. But whatever. Some of these don't have... Oh, because they're bite, whatever the hell. I should probably put the... what's it? The raw with the address on the end there for the data stuff. I also don't format the words, I don't think. I don't think I'm doing that. That is incorrect. What should we go to 8,000? Well, yeah, okay, that's significantly more actually. Hang on. If greater than or equal to. What? What the fuck? I mean, that should still print that out though. Well, not there as decoded actually. Cause yeah, if that's just so I changed how it's printed. And it's okay now? Uh-huh. Interesting. So I was printing that there, so I was only printing if it had an instruction. Which, okay, fair. Oh, so it's probably not finding instructions for the rest of those. Duh. Duh. That would make sense. Because I was only printing it when it had an instruction decoded to it. So if it's something that doesn't decode to an official opcode, like this shit, Also, those rows need to be FF. That's why I wasn't seeing those, because those didn't decode to an instruction. That's why it didn't print out there. And the address I had was kind of jank anyway. Okay. All right, that's making sense now. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Output test data, output test data. Okay. E over here. Okay, so we can go over here and get rid of that one in here. And up here. Okay. So we fixed the problem and then only thought we saw another. Yup. Exactly. Okay. Output error equals os dot op create bank dot output. Okay, that's fine. F print line output to close. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that. Fucking broke every goddamn branch. Every fucking branch I broke. Let me fix that real quick. Fuck, where's that? Types, instruction, because I moved it around. Relative is here. Huh? God damn it. Are those actually broken, or just loops don't get labels for some reason? You know, my auto labels aren't working correctly, I don't think. Well, actually, I think a bunch of this stuff. So those branches, the format is broke. I broke the format on that one. Oh, this does get some labels. I don't have auto labels. I'm not passing into this right now. Because I haven't done any of the label actual bullshit there. But yeah, that $-6 that's actually broken, because I broke that with this code right here. Yeah. So basically I need. So this entire kind of thing needs to change, really. Well, I mean, this right here needs to change. Yeah. Argument 1, no. If equals relative else if okay, if it's a relative, arg str is okay, we're gonna grab we're just gonna grab the whole line for now, but we're gonna get rid of this stuff. Or no, we're just gonna make that %d for now. That's not the button I wanted. There we go. They're no longer broken. Okay. So now I need proper label stuff. Yes, proper label management. I'm at a better place now where I can start figuring that out, I think. Yeah. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And I want to start bringing in no, actually it's going to be Bubba study box SBX that Banco 1 yoink paste. Good. Get rid of that. And then all the labels. I'm gonna look for. Whoa. I'm gonna look for everything that is label like that. And we're just gonna replace that with that. Go. Get out of there. Okay. Do this way. Making sure I'm not grabbing any ranges for this, basically. That's why I'm going slow. Just labels. Okay. Paste. Then in there, we're going to get rid of the semicolons at the end of each line. And then in there, we're also going to replace adder with address. Name I shouldn't need to replace, so I'll just leave that. And then, now I just can make some of these like multi-line. Proper multi-line. Why is it that short? Oh my god. Why is it that short? Holy shit. What was I thinking when I made it this short? Huh? What the hell was I thinking? Double that line length. What the fuck? Oh, and let's get the ranges as well. Let's get rid of that. And then all this. Put that up there. Like that. Oh, one more time. Thank you. This is going to be address and then end. And then type is going to be bytes. Bytes, 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 bytes. Words. Oh, less. Yeah, it's not going to give you anything because it drops it out to here. We got some labels. Look at that. So now I need to actually use the I have to change lengths of things for formatting so I don't have this kind of crap going on, right? So I need to change the width or what column shit starts in. Yeah. Should not choose? Probably make it fit in a display somewhere. It would have been a display somewhere. Yes, specifically for Messin. Because that was very, very narrow, that display. So if I open it up over here, hit A on that. The bugger. Once it changes over here, right there, I think. Yeah. Yeah. It's this short here. Right. So for these guys, when I hover over it, see how it chops off? The idea was to keep it inside, that window visible. So that's why all of them are that short. But if I'm generating code outside of this, I'm not gonna conform to that. 'Cause that's overkill, honestly. Yeah, so I'll want to configure some column stuff or some widths, I suppose. Is really how I'm doing it. Indents, line breaks, the formatting. Oh, I want to do a lot of formatting stuff. But I also need the oh, I'm not even I'm not dropping out labels for things either. So if let me rotate up DASM, and then down here, label equals bank dot labels at I if label does not equal nil. Fprint line output label dot name plus that. I'll have to do comment stuff and all that bullshit later, but this is fine. I did it again. Ah, ha, ha, ha! Holy shit, let's go! Ha, ha. Let's go! I like that. I want to do stuff for. Well, I don't have to do it for this ROM, but I will want to do label offsets for things. That'll be mostly, I think, for inside of commands. Like the actual argument on it, right? Yeah. Yeah, so there's going to have to be a lot of... Where is that coming from? Oh, because that's coming from this guy. Oh my god! Isn't it? Yeah. Fascinating. Yes, I have to figure out anonymous relative labels. That'll be fun. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, I gotta do a lot of formatting shit. But before that, I think I'll want to finish up label management. Yeah. Progress, though. This is good. This is very good. This is very promising. I like this. Yeah, like this stuff here is in another bank, right? That's in the fixed bank. No, it's not. What the fuck? Oh, I probably don't have that defined as anything. Probably. Push to stack. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there. You can detect which labels are only local, and thus could use at or indeed the anonymous syntax. Yeah, so the at stuff is I'm manually doing that, right? Like those are manually defined in I think config, these guys here. Test data bank 01. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that one. All right, that's not even that one. There we go, there's one. That ain't it though. D92, that's this guy here. That's that guy there. Right. I don't have any comments printed out yet either. I got to figure out specifically how I'll handle that. I thought about having two types of comments being defined, like inline and block, and having this that setting default to one or the other, depending on like length or number of lines or some shit. Yeah. So we're gonna do auto labels. I'm not planning on doing auto labels like that. The auto labels I'm planning on just doing like L and then an offset, probably. Not even. Yeah, it's probably actually gonna be ROM offset or offset into the bank or some shit. I thought about like having that like prefixed with the bank name and then the address. I might do that. Prefix to the bank name and then maybe the CPU address at that bank. In that bank. Could do that. Yeah, that way I wouldn't have to worry about collisions with two auto labels in two different banks at the same address, CPU address. Right? Yeah. Yeah. But progress. This is good. This is real good. I think I'm gonna wrap up though. I'm getting tired. I need to massage my toe that I stubbed earlier, I think. A bank can be mapped into several windows. Sure. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So we have to change it? Sure. I'm not going to worry about that right now. If anything, that would be like for an auto label at the very least. Like it'd be the first one it saw or whatever, or the first time it saw it. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue, much of a problem. Maybe, I don't know. It might be, but we can cross that bridge when I get to it. I've thought of setting up a format for like a layout kind of thing to like a user definable layout for auto labels, right? I thought about that, where like you could, you know, oh, put the bank name here and then the offset here and then this and that and the other thing, right? I might take that route. I don't know. I don't know if I'll need to for that. But like I said, it's possible. It's possible. Turning colors, damn it. That's gonna hurt for a week probably. Could be useful though. Also possibly overkill. Yeah, especially if I'm going through and making my own labels for things and commenting shit. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because that was for this guy here. Oh my god. Yeah, figuring out the anonymous labels for these are going to be. That'll be a task. That'll certainly be a task. I wonder, can I just do that to make run? Yeah. Oh, it just removes it. It doesn't even. It doesn't even do the auto label correctly. All right, neat. So that's broken. Anyway, I need to wrap up. I'm tired. But we made progress tonight. We made good progress. So let's see. We're gonna rate somebody real quick. But yeah, I'll be back Sunday. I'll be doing more of this. I might work on some of this off stream tomorrow. Shush. Tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, I'll be doing more of this. I'll be doing much more of this. I want to get this into a good, workable state, into a finished state, so I can get back to the actual reverse engineering stuff that I want to be doing. Yeah. Let's go over here. I haven't gone over here in a while. But anyway, thank you for being here. Appreciate it as always. I will see you guys on Sunday, hopefully. Hopefully I'll see you there. And yeah, come with me to say hi. Bye-bye.